Yo, peace and blessings to the family. It's your host, KCDG. This is the KingsTablePodcast. Without further ado, how y'all doing out there today? So, earlier we had a stream. The chat got really live about Mr. Tariq Nasheed. Seemed like a hot topic. And I'm here to touch on it. So, without further ado, I'm going to get into some of these links I got. I'm going to take the eyes off the messenger. And we're going to pay attention to the message. All right. So, first I seen one of these videos. Hold on. Okay, so first, this was the first video I saw. This dude, these are his feelings against Tariq Nasheed.
Okay, let me respond to these hotel niggas. Okay, yes, I said hotel niggas. Not hotel pimp, but hotel niggas. What do you call yourself? Tariq Nasheed, an Arab name. Okay. In America, you have descendants of slaves that came from slave masters, was freed, and then they became independent to do whatever they want, which is usually nothing because they all wanted to continue to please their Caucasian masters. Tariq Nasheed is one of them type of Negroes. He don't have any respect for anybody outside of the motherland. Correction. He don't have any respect for anybody that comes from the motherland or any island other than America because he's a Negropean. His whole mentality is to put down everybody who's not from here and act like he's so high and mighty and they so high and mighty when everything he practices from a pimp Negropean mentality. Not being as long as his food, if not longer. So I can say what the fuck I want because I'm in America. And I can tell you he's full of shit. He's a hotel pimp and he ain't trying to do nothing respectful for people of color. It's all about making money. It's all about doing what he need to do and start arguments and start shit anytime he get a chance. The guy, Sarah responds, he's on point. He makes a lot of good sense. And he has a foundation that he's speaking from. He ain't attacking nobody. But let the hotel pimp tell you, he's attacking everybody.
All right, so from what this brother say, he say Tariq Nasheed full of shit. All he care about is the money.
Let me respond to these hotel niggas.
And yeah, that's one man's opinion. So I can't really say too much on that. I'm just now learning about the fellow. We're gonna get into the next video. This is a news article I seen on Tariq Nasheed. James Hudson, salute to you too, brother. All right, here it is.
So much of our Black history, but there are many who do not believe it gets the recognition it deserves. And there's a local filmmaker that's looking to change that with a museum by Leimert Park featuring untold Black American history. Our Aziza Schuler tells us about the community-funded effort. Aziza?
Searching for history is a longtime passion for Tariq Nasheed, a documentary filmmaker and author. He's on the pursuit of uncovering and sharing untold African-American history. Today, he's taking us to learn about a former slave revered as the grandmother of LA, Biddy Mason. Her memorial is tucked away on the ground level of a parking structure on Spring Street in downtown. You'd likely miss it just walking by. More than 20 million people use Grammarly every day.
I changed the fucking quality and go into a commercial.
And they did a good job outlining the way the house looked. And this was one of the wealthiest homes in Los Angeles at the time. It was owned by a former slave, our good sister Biddy Mason.
Now, when you exit the parking structure and turn into the alley, there stands a timeline of her life. In the 1800s, Biddy went from slavery to becoming a wealthy real estate baron, owning property on what is now Spring Street.
The fact that she was enslaved And also, Biddy Mason was illiterate all of her life. All of the deeds that she signed, she would have to write an X because she just didn't know how to write, because at the time it was illegal for Black people to learn how to read and write.
Although it's rather discreetly honored here, Tariq says her legacy remains relatively untold.
She was a major philanthropist. This woman was so important to the early stages of Los Angeles, but she's never talked about.
And these kinds of stories are hard to come by. Tariq has found much of Black history is vague, untouched, or missing. Dr. Darnell Hunt agrees with Tariq. He says it takes a lot of digging to find the real hidden history of the Black diaspora. As a sociologist and African American studies professor at UCLA, he's been studying African American history and quantifying it for over 25 years.
History is usually told by the people who won. So we live in a society where white supremacy is still operating, and most institutions are run and controlled by white people. So we don't often have control over our own narratives and our own stories.
And that's exactly what prompted Tariq to crowdfund over $1 million to purchase this property on Crenshaw Boulevard to build what will be called the Hidden History Museum. This museum will dive deep into the stories of African American scholars, inventors, leaders, and artists that aren't traditionally recognized in American history.
So many people in our community, we're thirsty for the information. We know how important it is that we get information like this that will serve our needs and talk about our history and educate our children.
Because on the journey of self-discovery, you must know the history of your ancestors.
Oh, that's right. We stand on their shoulders. The group plans to...
That's true as hell. So far, I see Tariq Nasheed. One dude say he's selfish. Next video, he's using the crowdfunding to purchase the land location to build a museum. Now, these are just the most recent topics I've seen on Tariq Nasheed. In a little bit, we're going to do a deep dive to see what we could really find out about Mr. Nasheed. All right? Right now, we're just covering the surface. Just covering the surface. Now let's see your boy in action with somebody who disagrees with him.
Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight. Donald Trump is officially the president-elect of the United States. Today. Many of Donald Trump's critics, meanwhile, have also reached a milestone. They're officially hysterical, some having reached a diagnosable level of panic and overstatement. It isn't just that the other guy won. In their view, it's the end of a civilization itself, the beginning of a post-apocalyptic hellscape where Nazis fill the upper ranks of our government. Where'd they get that idea? Well, maybe from people like our next guest. Tariq Nasheed hosts a podcast, writes books and movies, has his own radio show. He's a robust presence on Twitter where, just this morning, he wrote this, quote, Trump has appointed to his cabinet people from the alt-right, a white supremacist sect that literally throws up Nazi salutes, #NeverMindPresident. Tariq joins us now. Tariq, thanks for coming on. So I looked at a list of the president-elect's cabinet appointments. Which one of them throws up Nazi salutes, literally, as you said?
Well, no. Well, Steve Bannon, he's associated with that alt-right organization, which is really nothing more than a sect of white supremacy. And those alt-right people, they were in a federal building at the Ronald Reagan building, throwing up Nazi salutes in the Steve Spencer. All of these, not Steve Spencer, but Richard Spencer. All of these guys are basically open white supremacists who practices Nazism. So, and Trump is associated with that, just like Reverend Wright was associated with Barack Obama.
Well, wait a second.
For that.
You don't say he was associated. Yeah. You said appointed people to his cabinet who throw up Nazi salutes. Steve Bannon, by the way, is not in the cabinet. Has Steve Bannon thrown up a Nazi salute that you are aware of or can prove?
But Steve Bannon is a part, and he was representing that whole alt-right movement. So if we're going to play
Steve Bannon at this meeting? I mean, what does Steve Bannon have to do with this?
Well, the same thing. He was associated with the people doing it. Just like how you guys associate me with Black Lives Matter, and I have nothing to do with it. Steve Bannon was representing, and he was associated with those alt-right people who are nothing more than white supremacists. And if we can go deeper than that,
okay,
and we've already
gone pretty deep.
If we go deep, but we haven't gone deep enough, Tucker. But I want to get factual too. But the whole campaign was run on a white supremacist platform. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Here's my point. You have a lot of venues. People listen to you. You've got 160,000 Twitter followers. You've written a bunch of books. People believe you, and people are worried about Trump, and they don't know what this administration is going to look like. And here you come out in public this morning and say he's appointed people to his cabinet who are Nazis, literally, to quote you, who are giving the Nazis salute. And that's not actually true. And you knew it wasn't true when you said it, and yet you're whipping people into a frenzy.
And it's not true when you're saying it now. It's not true when you're saying it now because I didn't say that. And that's the problem with systematic white supremacy. You get to label people and say that they said things that they didn't say. No, you didn't read my tweet. No, you didn't read my tweet. You just put your own thing to it, Tucker, which is kind of something that you do. Ask me what I said, and I'll be glad to answer that, Tucker.
Here's
I'll
what
be glad
you
to
wrote.
answer it, but don't add nothing else.
Boy, he a fast talker. Slow down a little bit. I mean, this brother, he ain't my brother, but Tucker on the left, he asked this question. He asked it clear as day. This boy, he quick talking. He beating all around the bush, boy.
What's to it, though?
Just want to jog your memory now, Tariq. Trump has appointed people.
You don't have to. I know what I said. I know what I said, Tucker.
Who literally throw Nazi salutes, and that's just not true. So my question is, isn't it irresponsible of you to say something that inflammatory that you know isn't true? Look, you may disagree with Trump, and that's fine, but he hasn't appointed Nazis to his cabinet.
What you're saying isn't true.
Okay. So far in this stream, this is the first piece of video to give me a little distaste about Mr. Tariq Nasheed. It's clear he has a talking point, and he's not. I'm not getting a vibe of conversation here. I don't know if he thinks Tucker's trying to attack him, but I honestly think Tucker's asking, valid questions from a person who would come out as an opposing side. I mean, I haven't seen Tucker really try to overtalk him at all. I just keep seeing him trying to overtalk Tucker. Okay, let's see. Maybe I'm tripping. Let's continue.
Sir, he's appointing a guy who's associated with the alt-right, and the alt-right, they are literally throwing up Nazi signs. Not only that, Donald Trump himself, he is disenfranchised and discriminated against black people his whole career. So this is not something that I'm just reaching out of a...
That's a lie. Trump discriminated against black people his whole career? Or is he talking about Steve Bannon? Let's take that back.
Discriminated against black people his whole career. Disenfranchised and discriminated against black people. Not only that, Donald Trump himself, he is disenfranchised and discriminated against black people his whole career.
Okay, that's cap. That's a whole bunch of cap right there. I'm sorry, Tariq. I can't agree with that statement. He disenfranchised and against black people. Nah. You must haven't heard of Miss Angela Stanton King. You must didn't hear when he was the only person backing Mike Tyson. Not even black people was backing up Mike Tyson when he was being alleged of his charges in this case. But Donald Trump did. That doesn't seem like disenfranchising black people to me. I'm sorry. I disagree with that statement.
So this is not something that I'm just reaching out of a bag.
And the fact that he would say that leans me towards the part of that he's being more of a political puppet than anything. Because you have to make a state that's a political statement to say that he's disenfranchised black people. That is, oh my God, that is okay. Let's get back into it.
And there's other people associated with Trump in the cabinet who have practiced systematic racism for years. So I'm just not pulling anything out of a bag. Even in the campaign,
I wonder
black
how
people were getting beat up and called racial names. So I'm not pulling something out of thin air, Tucker. I'm not pulling anything out of thin air.
Really quick questions.
Go
what
ahead,
do you think if there are literally Nazis in the cabinet? What do you think Ben Carson, the who's going to be the HUD secretary, thinks of that. Is he involved in that too?
Well, just because you get an individual black person and tokenize that black person, no matter how qualified he is, no matter how qualified a black person is, if you tokenize a black person and put him in a system of white supremacy, that doesn't negate the system of white supremacy. You just put a black person as the face of white supremacy. Nothing.
Is that what's going on here, Mr. Tariq? That's a question, because these statements was made 2016 of December. And if I'm not mistaken, that's right when Trump was elected president. And if I'm not mistaken, that's when you started your YouTube channel. Let's see if I'm capping or not. Let's go to the very first upload of Mr. Tariq Nasheed. And I'm going to continue this video for y'all while I look.
Nothing less.
Okay. So I want to ask you about some stuff that you've written, because I think it's important for viewers to know who you are, okay? Because people take you seriously. Now, you are, in addition to a lot of other things, the author of a number of books on dating. One of them is called The Art of Macking. You've written a couple others. And I just want to read you, I was reading it today, it's an interesting book. Chapter 6, Guaranteed Ways to Get Sex from Women. And I'm quoting you. In this chapter, I will give some tried and proven techniques that will help you talk a woman into giving it up. I will also offer you precise rebuttals to every objection a woman may have to giving it up. You say this, the number one lame thing men say to get sex, I love.
I'm sorry, but this man looked like Kel from Kenan and Kel, man. Is it me or yo, he looked just like Kel with a clean cut and a suit on. I'm tripping, man. Y'all tell me I'm tripping in the chat, please, because this nigga look like Kel to me.
Love you. You describe that as the bold lie approach. And then you say this, if a woman isn't ready for sex, you quote, 1, question her maturity, 2, minimize the significance of sex, and 3, tell her what she wants to hear. Now, you're advocating lying in order to take advantage of women sexually. This is in your book. I'm not misquoting it. Why should we believe anything that you say if you're counseling people to say, I love you, and lie to women in order to get them in bed?
Tucker.
Well, would you lie to people to get their money? But I don't know. He said that book was...
The fact that you're this desperate to get one of my books, which is a book on satire, it's a tongue-in-cheek book. The book was written in a comedic fashion.
He says the book was written in a comedic fashion. Look at Tucker Carlson's face. Oh my God, he looked like he just seen Christmas. Watch what he said.
And the fact that you're getting that to try to justify disenfranchising me.
Oh man, yeah, he know he just walked. That's the face you make when you lay a trap, and then you see that prey walk right into that trap, and that trap closed. Yeah, that's the face you make right there.
To try to minimize the significance of what I do in the system.
I knew you were going to go there. I was just joking, Ruth. So actually, I read about 10 interviews you did on the...
Tucker, don't be a sucker, Tucker.
Okay, so here's an interview you gave to Esquire.
That's so cheap, Tucker.
That is so cheap. It's a legitimate question. You said
Tucker, I'm talking about
what he wanted to get out. Oh man, I wish I would do what Tucker was gonna say after that, but he completely changed the subject, and he knew that Tucker Carlson has I don't know, but every time Tariq Nasheed says white supremacists, Tucker Carlson, he gets a little bit on edge.
Trying to discredit me by getting a quote from my book, which is tongue-in-cheek, which is about relationships. A lot of the book is satire, it's comedic, and that's so cheap, Tucker, but I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised, Tucker.
Let me just say, I don't think that you were being tongue-in-cheek, and the scores of interviews you did and the 2 follow-up books you wrote on this exact subject, How to Lie to Women.
The book has so many comedic
But I thought you were going to say that.
But I don't get it.
But it raises the question, are you being tongue-in-cheek now with all this race war stuff you're constantly talking about? He's the white supremacist, they're Nazis.
I'm not, because white supremacy is not tongue-in-cheek.
Okay,
we live in a system.
We live in a system
of white supremacy, and white supremacy is not a joke. White supremacy is not a joke. We live in a system that's dominated in all areas of activity of white supremacy. So I take that very seriously, sir.
So you're, but you're making specific allegations that are untrue.
Let me put that into perspective for you, Mr. Tariq Nasheed. And I ain't just starting this journey, but I know enough to know that the white man don't own this country. The white man ain't supreme in this country. I'm sorry to break it to you. That's just not it. Now, when you go to the capital J's and them Jewish boys behind the scenes, then I believe something you saying. But you've made your whole argument in this interview about white supremacy, something that's I feel like them Jews just threw in the bucket for you to talk about or for whoever to talk about instead of talking about them. And if you've been in class the past few days, you'll know that Jews changed their identity to white when they came to this land. And yeah, I also, if you bring that up, he calls himself Tariq Elite, and that rose a red flag to me as well. Now, I can't say anything about the Brother Museum. That's the really positive thing I'm clutching and hanging on to with this dude, because I love the fact of having a black hidden history museum. That alone really intrigues me. But he's also said that it's nothing for them to make them a political puppet. Those came from his words earlier in this interview. Make a black person the face of racism, so to speak.
True, and you know that they're untrue because you're not.
I'm not.
You know exactly what you're doing.
I'm not. You're trying to put words in my mouth, but I'm not shocked.
Fine. But does it occur to you? It's very simple. And last question: does it occur to you that people believe you and that you increase the temperature of race hatred in this country, and that long term that might lead to some really bad things? Do you feel responsible for that?
You mean like black people getting harmed in all areas of activity, like black people getting shot legally and executed legally? What have you done to Tucker? What have you done to replace the system of white supremacy?
I'm calling you out for lying. That's what I do. That's my contribution today.
For replacing? Okay, Tucker.
Yeah, Tariq, I appreciate it.
Hold up. Did Tucker shut him up?
I'm calling you out for lying. That's what I do. That's my contribution today.
For replacing? Okay, Tucker.
Ooh.
Yeah.
He didn't deny it. Hold up. Run it back.
What have you done to replace the system of white supremacy?
I'm calling you out for lying. That's what I do. That's my contribution today.
For replacing? Okay, Tucker.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Tariq,
yeah.
I appreciate it.
I fucks with that white boy. Tucker, you a bad motherfucker, boy. You a bad motherfucker, Tucker. Now, Tariq Nasheed. Oh, man. It's hard to say anything. The one thing, I like to find about a person is something, not to say humiliating, but something that's, I say, humbling. And I haven't seen that looking into this guy. I haven't seen him being humble or anything yet. We're just starting here. So I want to get into his website. I'm going to share the screen. And this rose another red flag to me as well. So I'm like, you have a whole website here. You're supposed to preach black knowledge and hidden history. And the only thing you can do on the Hidden History Museum page is donate. Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know. Y'all let me know. If I'm on the deep end, let me know. I'm just saying, like, why would you make a whole page just for people to donate? I mean, you ain't got nothing to where people could scroll, see some of the artifacts, I don't know anything about history. The only thing you can do is donate on this page. And that's it. There's nothing more to this page. This is literally it. 2 photos, which could have been taken anywhere, really. And that's it. I'm gonna do another show where I research these women and this guy. I need to find out who they are. But I'm gonna get into another video. Let's see. And okay, so in this video, I went to one of his live streams and I just jumped in a random spot. And I ain't gonna cap, I felt what he was saying in this part of his video. So, but let me get into it.
And I know we can do it. I know we can do it as a black family. We can do that. We're not going to have one of these museums where we have to get money from the dominant society. The minute you get money, and that's what's going on out here in LA now, you have certain people doing these development deals, but they're getting their money from the dominant society. So you got to watch a lot of these people. Also, you get money from people in the dominant society, they're going to root their own ideology in your institution. This is why anytime you see some black project, all of a sudden you see people of color, you see all lives matter talk, you start seeing rainbows pop up. We talking about black empowerment, and all of a sudden there's rainbows and all trans lives matter. We got all this other stuff mixed in.
I feel that.
We're still going to do the film about the Maroons too. And my idealistic thoughts are to get the museum, the ball rolling. Get the ball rolling on the museum. While we're getting the ball rolling on the museum and we're getting things built, because I was talking, and that's another thing too. I'm glad you brought that up. My people out here, if y'all know some black developers, if y'all know some...
Okay, that's it. Yeah, I agree with that part of him. So I like that image. I like it. Shows me he has we share some of the same perspective when he goes to talking about that like that. But yeah, he's not a bad person. He just need help. I feel that. What's going on here? Can't see anything? Okay, whatever. All right, so I got okay. So one more thing I want to share with you guys, and that's just basically what kind of made me think that he was possibly a political puppet was because I went to his YouTube, and it was started 4 years ago. So right when Trump took office, and I don't really believe in coincidences. So yeah, there's that. There's the great possibility that he very well could be a political puppet for the Democratic Party. And we're going to get into the whole Democratic Party in probably another stream. Or we might do it this stream. I don't know. Depends on how I'm feeling, to be real. But yeah, besides that, I mean, he's a solid guy from, everything else I've been seeing in the world. I mean, besides the Hassan Campbells and, the Tommy Sotomayers, Tariq Nasheed is, I must say, I watch him and listen to what he has to say before I listen to any of those other guys. If you're familiar with the channel, I always say, man, don't get so attached to the person. Let's forget the person. Let's just go ahead and take the message what they're telling us. And if it checks out, take it and run with it. And then we become our own messages. And that's how we really move ahead. You feel me? But what you don't do, y'all ready for this curveball of the day? I'm about to throw y'all a curveball. We hopping off Tariq. Dom Lynch, what it do? Oh, I've seen before, just ain't watched any videos. Yeah, he seemed pretty solid, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie. Like, it seemed like he dropping gems. I'm gonna go watch some more of them. But like I say, don't get too attached to these people, man. Like, we don't know them. I don't know them. Y'all don't know me. Don't get attached to me. I just drop the gems I feel people could use, throughout their everyday lives. Am I perfect? Hell no. Nigga, I was up with y'all last night, all night, live streaming, had to wake up 6 in the morning, take the kids out, grumpy them motherfuckers. Don't talk to me, I don't want to talk right now. Mouth wouldn't even work this morning. On God now. But you know, like I said, I'm a flawed human being. He can't talk about the truth in me, only I can. All right, big geech in the building. You better understand. But yeah, this is what you don't do. Now, if I would have went on Tariq Nasheed page, you know what I'm saying? Or I would have typed in Tariq Nasheed name on YouTube, and I was seeing shit like this. Y'all tune. Hold up. We gonna give this goddess a good shout out. Goddess segment. Shout out to you. We're gonna shoot her the scribe in the light, you know, and we gonna get into this video of my boy Red fella call him Young Sparrow. We're gonna get into Young Sparrow.
Why you go so hard on a fraud ass nigga? Okay? Why you go so hard on a scammer?
October 26th. Motion to dismiss.
Hey, that's my birthday.
First lie that we are going to uncover right now is the man said that if you donate to him, he would give you back what you donated plus more. As you see, that has not happened. He has not kept that promise to the people. He don't give a fuck about you. He used that money to buy his jewelry, as you can see.
All right.
I'm just putting shit together so niggas could, look at it and take.
Like I said, I don't know the brother. I don't know Young Pharaoh. I don't know Tariq Nasheed, but I don't see Tariq Nasheed collecting people money and grabbing jewelry and throwing chains and watches and rings and Corvettes and shit like that. I'm sorry. He could have a very nice car. I've never seen it, but all I'm saying is you got have a sense of humility, and Young Pharaoh done lost all that shit.
Take it for what it is, rather than trying to attack me and saying that I'm wrong. How am I wrong for calling out a nigga who has been robbing people since he got out of jail? How am I wrong for calling that out? If y'all male groupies want to continue being lied to and y'all need y'all handheld in life, then that's on you, bitch. I don't got nothing to do with you and how you want to move. You was a bitch, nigga. So don't be mad at me. Just do the research. That's all you gotta do. Do the research. I'm not about to keep arguing with his male groupies.
Look what you made me do.
Hey, male groupies. I feel like. Look it up. Yeah, he really feeling himself, but he in that zone. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know, been there. You know when you get that fresh fit for school, you looking in the mirror, getting them pictures. Alright. That's how this boy looking right here. This pic. Look at that grin, but all the dimples showing. Yes, sir. We got the grilling. We got the chain on. Yes. That check just dropped. That's what that face is.
Now let's talk numbers. Okay? This is $1 million lawsuit. Okay? Why? Because the team that was being put together doesn't want to work with me. Okay? Not because I don't have a legitimate argument, but because I'm a black guy and I don't apparently appeal to certain white people. So they don't want to work with me. That's just the nicest way I can say it. I'm the only black.
When you were coming on here, asking y'all for y'all money, you know what I'm saying? You were coming on here, dropping them heavy gems. You get what I'm saying? Dropping that heavy knowledge. He ain't have no jury on. He ain't have no grill on. He probably did have it. But, you know, he ain't showing it. He ain't wearing it. He ain't in your face with it. He have a sense of humility in his journey. You get what I'm saying? Now, we all elevate. And a wise man told me, money don't make a man. It's what you do with it that really make you. And I couldn't agree with him more. And we seen what he did with his chance.
That guy on the damn complaint, and there was a bunch of white people who didn't want to work with him. Let's just put it like that. So, what you get? But if I'm able to keep a record of everybody that donates, here's what I'll propose. I'll propose 2 things. For everybody that chips in, when we take YouTube to court and we win, because there's no way they can beat me in court. When we take YouTube to court and we win, okay? What I'll do is I'll send everybody back double of what they put in.
Oh, he said he'll send everybody back double what they put in. DT, these ain't my words. I'm just proving the point, my boy. I'm just showing the info and going with the flow. You feel me? I've been following this guy, so I know his motive. Well, I'm not gonna say I know his motive, but I seen like what his motive was when he first came in. It was all black woman guy. You can do this, we can do that. It take unity, this and that. And now, let's show you. I'm gonna finish the video and then we'll get into it.
So if you send 10, I'll send you back 20. And that's if I'm able to keep a record. If I'm not able to keep a record, I'll donate. I'll create a poll, and I'll create a something that the public wants me to do, and we can take this. We can take all of the money that we raised in this fundraiser, and when we get it back on the back end of the lawsuit, we can create something that y'all all want me to donate that to. So if we raise this $250,000, what I'll do is when we crack YouTube in the head and we win in court, because it's a guarantee we're going to win, I'll take $250,000, maybe even more, and I'll let y'all decide what y'all want to do. So that's how we gonna rock. So I play fair, and that's how I move.
The last thing, this shit was dismissed way back when, October
26, 2020, on a nigga birthday.
Okay, October 26th. Motion to dismiss was a civil suit, which means that it would be on contingency. That means he would get paid if they won. You don't have to put money up front. So his lawyer would get a percentage or whatever. And he even went as far as to get a refund, okay, for the filing fee of $400. So how much did he really put into this thing? Okay, the $400 for the filing fee, which was approved.
So that was quick. We got through the YouTube lawsuit, that first scam that I became aware of because I was around and following him. That's why I knew something was going on. Like, okay, damn. Okay. Now I need to listen to the people who was coming at me saying, Pharaoh scam for a daycare, Pharaoh scam for a logo. He stole a logo from black women. Like, now I had to look into all of this. I was like, wow. So as I was looking into the stuff, let me just show you what I found, because I was like, damn, I used to go to sleep to this nigga and he was out here robbing people. Oh.
The private access car traveling. Now with that being said, this is the same as black car traveling family. Let me update y'all. The brother switched the name of his company due to some trademark issues. The brother switched the name of his company due to some trademark issues he had with American Express. So it's not a problem. Same thing, same offers on the table, different names. So if you see it as a different name, that's the explanation. But I just want to come on here and give my testimony of the official business practices of what is now private access car travel. So with that being said, family, let me let y'all know. As y'all recently know, I had to travel to Baltimore recently for some legal issues. Now, the cost of my room for its retail price was $122.08. I only paid $87 and I believe 45 cents for the room. So that was more than $30 that I saved on a hotel room that I booked the same night. So I saved $30 on a hotel room that I booked the same night. I didn't book it a week out or none of that. I booked it once again the same night. So with that being said, family, I'm going to give a special shout out to this brother and, you know, the means that he's provided, not just for me, but for black people who travel, period. So with that being said, family, the link is in the description to this brother and what he has to offer. If you want to get you a private access card and reap the benefits of traveling at an affordable rate. So with that being said, you know, let me go back to the beginning when I said, you know, don't be afraid if you see the name change. As I said, and I have explained, you can speak to the brother personally and talk to the brother if you have any questions. But Black Car Traveling and Private Access Car is the same person, it's the same business, it's the same offerings, it's the same entities. Keep going. Yeah. The brother put SOS in there. For y'all who don't know about SOS, this is my logo. This is my logo. This is a part of the movement that I have started for black people for helping me out with these legal donations. donations. I love y'all. This is an update. So with that being said, going forward, I'm using Rozzoom.com. The link is in the description if you want to send me a donation. I'm switching from GoFundMe because GoFundMe apparently doesn't allow you to raise money for legal matters, but this site does. So with that being said, whatchamacallit? As I stated, everybody, I'm about to get his first. I'm about to get his half of his wave to my attorney. Let him do what he do. And then I got till May 1st to come up with the second, to raise the second half. So I want to let everybody know I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Whatchamacallit? The link is in the description to donate.
Okay. I stand corrected. My boy got them rings and them earrings on right here now. You got all right. Okay. I stand corrected. That is her son Campbell going on right here.
Contracts. I showed my lawyer contracts, all of that, so everybody know that everything is official in regards to what he charged in the price, how much he accepted up front, all of that.
Robert Kemp? No, there are no such thing as legal fees with legal aid. We're assigned by the Appellate Division, New York State, to handle these cases. We are not paid by the client, so we have not been paid. There are no legal fees associated with this case with Marshall Daniels. We do not charge our clients. We are paid by New York State. Okay. But as far as I'm concerned, once the appeal is going through the process with legal aid and the court system, there's no further appeals.
There you heard it. There you saw it with your own eyes. Make your own assumptions. But like I said, I didn't see Tariq Nasheed doing no shit like that, man. I see him dropping pure history. I see him dropping pure knowledge. And if anything, you can take something from it. And from what I see, you don't have to give him nothing, But he's making it known that he is crowdfunding something. But without further ado, Mr. Sinetta, nigga, you gotta step to the front of the class, my boy. You gotta step to the front. What in the hell? So, Dr. Inky had a show yesterday. I was tuning into it. And yeah, I got this video down on my profile. And he had a caller come in. If you watch Dr. Inky show, he don't usually do callers or call-ins like that. So he let a caller call in, and this caller exposed Sinetta. This is what he had to say.
That is really psychotic in hindsight right now, but that's a whole nother conversation. His obsession with a pedophile, you know what I'm saying? And then now the rape charges, and I just think that people is mixing it up. So I don't want to mix it up. So I be scamming and shit like that, but we seen his arrest record, so we know he ain't no pedophile. You know what I'm saying? Well, I mean, I beg the devil because I was there. Hold on.
He said he was there, so he ain't saying allegedly. All right, he's saying he was there, nigga.
Hold on. Are you gonna tell us that Sinetta's a pedophile, nigga? Facts.
He said facts.
Actual facts. Let me tell you something, yo. And both came out with this polite shit. Like I said, I'm watching how they going at you, and I'm like, yo, tell the truth, this ain't the devil, nigga. That's the bottom line.
This nigga face, you look kind of nervous right here. Hold up, man. You look kind of nervous. He can't believe what he hearing right now. He like, what?
I'm going, just looking at that Tasha K arrest record. I'm looking at that arrest record, and I'm looking at the dates. And as I'm looking at the dates, I said, wait a minute. This is during the time when Frankie was going out with a 15, 16-year-old girl when he was in his 30s.
Now, he said he looked at the arrest record and what Tasha K had pulled up, and he realized that it was around the time that Sinetta, a.k.a. Frankie, was dating a 15-year-old girl, allegedly. I think I'll snap. I'm crazy. I don't know what to say about this, Sonetta.
Let me say that again. And I'm from home. Chill, bro, chill.
Look, Inky don't want to accept it. He don't want to acknowledge it. He don't want to believe what he's hearing right now. But this man on the phone say, nigga, I'm from Harlem. Here, go right here.
Chill. You can't call in. Bro, you can't call in. You can't. It's the climate in the community is too crazy to throw a smear campaign on a nigga like that. I got the girl name and everything. I know where the girl's at.
He said it's not a smear campaign. I know the girl name and everything. I know where the girl at. She'll confirm it.
So she's home. This is home. So you want to know why he protected Polite? Because he defends what Polite do. Hold on. So you saying that you know that Sonetta was 30 years old with a 15-year-old girl he was having sex with? 33.
Whoa. He said 33. But we ain't getting that exact. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know something. Come on. Hold up. Let's listen though.
33. I don't know, family. What's the girl name then? Where's she from? Like, how do we know this is real? Again, every man got to defend himself. So, he getting at you. He doing smear campaigns. This is on him. And like I said, I'll leave you my contact information if you ever want to get back at me. And when he get on the line with me, he know what it is. The girl name is Nikki. Ask him about Nikki from 150th Street.
He said the girl name is Nikki. The girl name is Nikki. Ask him about Nikki from 150th Street.
And what was he doing with Nikki? Ask him that question. That's the question that needs to be asked. So, that nigga's phone. And I used to see how they used to say all that shit on 125th Street. That was nothing but divide and conquer. All you did was put us against each other for 20 years. That's why we don't got shit. When you driving around in Mercedes Benzes and all that shit through Harlem, but the community is divided and conquered. For 20 years, we battling each other all day, every day. All year, every year, for 20 years. But again, you want to see what's in the dark comes to the light. But this shit with Polite now, the gloves is off. The gloves is off.
He say with this shit with Polite coming out now, the gloves are off. Now, niggas tell him. Nigga, we tell him, nigga. We putting all you motherfuckers to the front of the class. And you got some splaining to do. Just a little bit explaining to do, my boy.
We grown ass men right now. We can't defend this in our community.
Facts.
You gotta tell the truth, shame the devil. So I'm gonna leave you my contact information because I know people are calling in. Fuck. Yo, ain't nobody else calling in. Niggas is in shock. You just fucked up my whole show. What? What the fuck? Quran from 150th? 150th and what? St. Nicholas. Quran from 150th and St. Nicholas. And Nikki is from 150th and St. Nicholas too, or no? All the same block. Wow. All live in the same building. Okay. Oh, so you lived in the building?
Now you're gonna be like, well, what if this is just a nigga calling in hating? And you would be 100% correct. But you gotta understand. Imagine yourself at 15 years old and you live in the same building with another 15-year-old that looks good. But she like, oh no, I got an older boyfriend and this nigga 33. Come on now. I'd feel some type of way too.
So let me, you know what? I don't even want to make jokes because it's so serious. But I was gonna say you sound like somebody who was trying to hit it and mad because one of the older niggas was hitting it. Because that's how it usually be. It be grown ass, old ass pervert niggas messing with the young niggas' girls. That's exactly what it was. That's exactly what it was. The girl.
Y'all seen how easy Inky made that correlation? He knew how the game go. He knew how it go.
Always used to say she had an older boyfriend. She had an older boyfriend. And the kid's like, yo, who? He used to sneak that girl in and out of his house, yo. When she was 15, 16, 17. I think he missed her for a year because he had went away to jail. Look at that arrest record. I'm talking about like 96, 97, somewhere in that area. I got to look at that record again. When he was in jail, when he came home, he got right back to her. She was like 17 at the time. So you do the math. You do that. Your son's a state. They can't lead the conscious community. They fooled the people for too long. And this is why the fakeness is coming to the light, Nick. Polite, he know what Polite was doing because he does the shit himself, man. That's the bottom line. Damn, yo, I feel like I need a shower, yo. Peace, caller. I'm gonna get your info, caller. I'm gonna let you go, caller. I need a break. I need a break, family.
So yeah, he brushes it off, says that he needs a break, and let the caller hang up. And these are the people who getting the numbers from these days, man. So, like I say, take the message, leave the messenger. We are all flawed human beings, hopefully aspiring to be better. This is the King's Table Podcast. As always, think with greatness.